Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Last time on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we had The Emperor and the Hanged Man Part 2, where continuing on from where episode 10 left off, Avdol was dead, totally dead, completely literally 100% dead, and Kakyoin and Polnareff had to deal with the Hanged Man, Centerfold. And it was very tricky. They figured out that he actually exists via light and goes in and out of reflections, which was pretty interesting. They were able to beat him and kill Centerfold, which was kind of easier than I figured it would be, but whatever. And then they confronted Whole Horse, and then he just skedaddled, basically. He got the hell out of there. And also there seems to be some sort of a flesh bug or some sort of thing on Joseph's arm. And yeah, that's pretty much that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say that if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment, click on the link there. That will take you over to the reaction. You can watch it, you can hopefully have a good time. When you're done with that, you can pop right back over here to this video for the discussion. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Here we go. Alrighty. Finally. It took 12 episodes. 12 episodes. But Joseph Joestar finally fought something. He hasn't fought something since Cars. Since Cars. And finally, Joseph fought something. Oh my god, an episode about Joseph. Thank you. And not only that, this was definitely a Joseph Joestar episode. That was so nice to see. That was so nice to see. That he's still the legendary Joseph Joestar. Oh, man. Oh, I'm so glad for that. I am so glad for that. Oh, man. I just, I fucking love Joseph, man. I love Joseph so much. And I'm so glad he got an episode. You know? Took a while. Took a whole while, but he did. And hey, we finally get some more combat. Well, we get actual combat with Hermit Purple. You know? Which we really haven't had. You know, I've just sort of been being like, oh, well, he kind of, swings the vines in the intro. It's like, no, he legitimately did combat with Hermit Purple. And Hamon. He used Hermit Purple and Hamon. And they said the word Hamon. Because the most, he did an overdrive in episode 3. And they reference, oh, my dad has weird powers. That was episode 1. Other than that, they have just never brought up Hamon again until now, finally. Though it seems like Joseph may be a little out of practice. He may be a little out of practice with his Hamon, which, I mean, it makes sense since, he didn't use the Hamon, age slower like Straitzo and Lisa used. For some reason, Joseph didn't do that. So he legitimately looks his age, but oh man. Oh man, oh man. What a great episode. What a great episode. I loved it. Let's go right into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is Enyaba. That's her name, right? Enyaba? I think it's Enyaba. So, okay, again, her going on about, Centerfold, he was such a pure and noble boy. Screw you. Like, that's not even, like, motherly talk, you know? Like, I just wanted Dio to be there. I mean, granted, that was during the day, so he couldn't be outside, but I just wanted Dio to be there being like, he raped and murdered a girl, right? I mean, good lord, I stole Arena's kissing virginity and killed Jonathan's dog and his dad. It's just, like, you really think he was a good boy? He was, I mean, by your standards, I suppose, but pure and noble are very different things, Enyaba. Like, I want Dio there being like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, no. And now when she says, like, it must have been some sort of trickery, they did something underhanded to beat him, which, first off, fuck you. His entire stand is underhanded. His entire garbagey, I go into reflection stand. That is all underhanded. The gun is underhanded, But I will say that does sort of reinforce the whole saying, like, did Centerfold go down kind of too easily? Like, with all the hype they had? That's probably what she's thinking, too. It's like, wait a minute. We hyped up Centerfold so much that he's dead in 10 episodes? Or 11, I guess? Like, he's dead immediately? Like, that's weird. Like, so I could understand that. I could honestly understand that. But yeah, the whole, he was a pure and noble boy. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He raped and murdered an innocent girl. Hell, even if she wasn't innocent, he raped and murdered a girl. You can't do that. That's not pure and noble. There is nothing pure and noble about raping a girl. Like, get out of here. So yeah, I wanted Dio to be like, are you serious about that? Because that's just weird. So also, does Enyaba have a stand? I would assume so, because she knows about stands and, told Dio about his stand, but I don't know. Maybe she does. We'll have to see, I guess. We went to Varanasi. Varanasi, the city. Interesting. I do like all the, like, descriptions they do, like, the introductions to each city. Like, I do like that. Where it's like, Hong Kong, Singapore, Varanasi, Calcutta. Let's talk about this for a minute. I, the narrator, am going to talk to you about this city that we just entered. I kind of like that. Gives you a little lesson on that city. Pretty cool. So yeah, that was cool. We had the Empress. Again, first off, hey, Joseph. It's an episode about Joseph. Yay! I love Joseph. I love Joseph so much. I keep forgetting he's not the main character anymore, Like, of course when they say it's like, he's just some old man now, it's like, this is still Joseph Joestar we're talking about, right? It's like, my little pimple stand is going to beat Joseph Joestar, who literally beat the invincible god of vampires. Like, are you kidding me? Like, do you really think? Like, I wouldn't think that you could beat Star Platinum or Hierophant Green or anyone else. Like, I don't think I bet that's why, because of the stand that Joseph has, they thought it would make sense to defeat him with the Empress, but still, whereas, like, everyone else has a stand that would be more suited to taking on the Empress, still, you're dealing with Joseph Joestar. He beat every Pillar Man. Granted, sometimes he needed the help of an Italian and a Nazi, but still, he beat Wamu by himself. He beat Cars, the Invincible. He sent that bastard into space, and that was improv. That was an improvised move of sending Cars into friggin' space. And you're going to take on him? You're going to take on the guy who beat the invincible god of all vampires? You're going to take on that guy? Who also has a stand? Really? Like that's the thing, you know? Like, oh, the Empress thinks that he's probably the easiest target, or, you know, Enyaba, you know, probably thought that too, and, you know, with her saying, like, oh, well, you shouldn't concern yourself with the Joestars, they're not important, they don't pose a threat to you, we'll defeat them with the other stands. Like, this is what Dio was talking about. You cannot underestimate a Joestar. You just can't. And this is Dio talking, where the only experience he has with this is Jonathan. Jonathan, who had a week's worth of Hamon training. And now you're dealing with Joseph, who at least had a month's worth of Hamon training and beat the god of all vampires, and Jotaro, the prodigy. The prodigy who probably rivals Jonathan as a prodigy with stands. This is exactly what Dio was talking about. Don't ever underestimate the Joestars. You just can't. Hamon. We had Hamon. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 episodes, we had Hamon. Granted, yes, we had Hamon in episode 3, when they removed the flesh bud from Kakyoin, and, you know, Joseph used an overdrive. Interestingly, well, I guess this does make sense. So, Joseph used his prosthetic hand for his Hamon, but that makes sense because we've had, like, the metal silver overdrive to send Hamon through metal, so that still works. So I like that. Honestly, I was thinking, it's like, okay, worst case scenario, Joseph will cut his arm off, and you're just done, you know? Like, Joseph is no stranger to losing his arm, you know? But I do like, you know, when the doctor is, like, going in to try to cut the thing out, you know, Joseph is a little squeamish, because, yeah, that probably does remind him of the day he lost his arm. The day that he beat the god of all vampires, I'm just saying. Anyway. But yes, Hamon! We had Hamon! We also had Hermit Purple, which was pretty cool. Hamon didn't really do much, but we had it. And we also had Hermit Purple. It does sort of sound like, you know, with Joseph saying, like, oh, it's been a while since I've had to do this. Like, he's out of practice, isn't he? He didn't keep up with his training, his Hamon training, did he? He's probably like, oh, I beat Cars. Guess we're done. To be fair, I guess once you defeat the god of all vampires and there are no other stone masks and no other vampires and no other pillarmen, I guess it makes sense that he wouldn't need to continue his training, but still, Hamon could still be used on other things, at least. So, plus you never know when something's going to be, you know, something's going to come back where you might need Hamon. Case in point, how your father died to a zombie by Dio. Second case in point, how Dio is back, you know? Like, that's the thing. Again, our main villain is still a vampire. That Hamon could be really useful. In fact, teach Jotaro some Hamon, for God's sake. Like, hey, Jotaro, like, look, Jotaro, you're the main character, so you should probably learn some Hamon for when you face Dio. Anyway. But we had Hamon and Hermit Purple, which was pretty cool. The growing... oh, man. Just seeing that thing just grow out of his arm. That was pretty crazy. But it was interesting. Again, stands... We're just going all over the place with what a stand can be. Also, okay, we have to talk about this. So a couple episodes back, when Polnareff fought Ebony Devil, he sent Silver Chariot above the bed, but Silver Chariot couldn't see. Silver Chariot couldn't see because Polnareff couldn't see up there because he was under the bed. Since then, let's see. We had Yellow Temperance, then no. We had, well, after Yellow Temperance was the Emperor and the Hangman. So was that it actually? Let me check the episodes. Yeah. So, well, okay, even in there, they say, like, okay, your stand can't see because you can't see. Meanwhile, Ebony Devil is up there, and the stand user, Soul Sacrifice, was, like, several floors down in the bathroom. Couldn't see crap. And remember, this is 1987. No webcams. You can't just set up a camera in there in 1987. Then, Centerfold is just gone. Like, Centerfold is not anywhere remotely near there, but the Hanged Man was. And then in this, Nana, she whips and then she nanas. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. She was nowhere near Joseph, and yet the Empress could still attack. So when they make a whole big deal about the fact that you need to be able to see for your stand to see, is a load of garbage, because that's not the rules. Why that didn't work for Polnareff, it just didn't. But even in that episode, they broke that rule. I'm just saying the rules are out the window on stands. There is almost no consistency on how stands work. Sometimes they're human, sometimes they're vines, sometimes they're a boat, sometimes they're goo. Sometimes you have to be able to see in order to have your stand see. Most of the time you don't, though. Sometimes a stand can't be seen. Sometimes it can, though. It really is up in the air on what the actual rules of stands are, because none of it makes sense. So I had to get that out of my system. I do like Joseph being clever with all like the sand and stuff, and using Hermit Purple to create a map to let him get to the tar. That was very, very clever. I like that. And then using the tar to trap her there. That was really clever too. So, yeah. Because at first I was thinking, I thought it was oil at first. And it's like, okay, could you use your Hamon to light the oil and burn this person, Like, I thought that would be kind of cool. But yeah, froze her basically, trapped her with the tar, and then used Hermit Purple to yank her out, which killed the user. And I also love Joseph being like, your next line is, no, please don't do this. No, please don't do this. And it's like, oh, yes. That is a classic Joseph Joestar move right there. And then, yeah. So, okay, so the user, too, this doesn't make any sense either. The user was hiding in the girl. I don't know how that works. Like, I can go back, I guess, but it was so weird. Poor Polnareff. Poor Polnareff.
Shall we seal our new love with a sweet kiss?
I don't know why Polnareff was so... Like, why was he concerned about this girl? I don't get that.
What's wrong, Nana? a stand user all along.
Nah. How did he get there so fast?
The old troll. She attached her stand to me as a tumor with a human face and camouflaged herself as a beautiful woman. You were careless. She played you like a damn fiddle.
Ugh. I don't know how that works, but whatever. But yeah, that was funny. Poor Polnareff, you know? I don't get why he was so concerned with this girl, but that was pretty funny. I did like that, so yeah. But this was a really great episode. I really enjoyed it. I'm so happy to have a Joseph episode. And we got to yell some more in the discussion. I'm going to try to tone down on that, because yeah, as I was going on that like huge spiel, I was like, God, we're doing another giant rant again. Like, I can't keep doing this, man. So, hopefully we don't have to do that anymore. But yeah, don't underestimate the Joestar, specifically Joseph friggin' Joestar. And also, the rules of stands don't exist. If there are rules, they have been broken 80 times, and it doesn't matter anymore. So, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.